Hey everyone, Mr. Damien here, aka El Stegosaur. Today we're going to talk about the basics of music theory. So, music theory unravels the mystery behind why things sound the way they do. And learning music theory is like learning to read or just generally understand a new language. If you can read, you have an easier time understanding the world around you. If you can read music, well, you'll have a lot more fun with music. So, here's something that looks familiar. You've got a note. That's our representation of theory. So, we want to understand what these notes do. But before we even get to the note, we need where the notes exist. So, the written word of music, the cat sees the dog, is going to be on what's called the staff. The staff has 5 lines, numbered from low to high. This will help us identify the notes later on as we'll count from low to high the lines of the staff. So here, it might seem obvious to some people, but it's not always. Notes, which appear on the lower lines, sound lower than notes that appear higher up sound higher. Yeah, it might seem obvious, but what's obvious to you isn't always obvious to everyone. So now that we've got the staff numbered, what we're going to do here is put a map marker location. That was jumbled. We're going to put a "you are here" marker to help you find out where you are in regards to the names of the notes. We call the marker a clef. The most popular, most common one that people see and recognize, are familiar with, is called the treble clef. It looks like a G. A lot of people do the bottom differently. That's kind of the way I do it. And looking at the video there, that could be a lot better. Can never have too much practice. Try that again. So I like to make them like this. You start with the swirl around the second line, gradually getting out. Come up around the top down to the bottom. And then do your own fancy little ending there. Yeah, that one's a lot better than that first one. So what the treble clef does is the treble clef marks here, the second line, as the note G. Any notes that will appear on the second line will be the note G. Treble clef is also called the G clef for this reason. Now, letters. G was the first letter, but let's talk about, well, the first one I talked about in this video, but now let's talk about the letters, because that's how we identify the notes on the staff, by their letter name. In Western music, we have 7 letter names. The first 7 of the regular alphabet, and then it will repeat. So the pattern of music at the very beginning is this. It goes A, B, C, D, E, F, G, A, B, C, D, E, F, G, A, B, as you keep going forward. If you go backward, the same thing happens, just in reverse. G, F, E, D, C, B, A, G, F, E, D, C, B, A, G, F. And it'll keep going backwards, one letter at a time. So now we know we've already marked G on the treble clef. That's our beginning location. We know for certain that that note on the second line will absolutely be G when there is a treble clef at the beginning of the staff. So let's get that staff up here again. Draw. Yeah, that's another weird little one. That's all right. You can tell what it's supposed to be, so that's the important part, is just getting your point across. Whether it's talking, sometimes I stumble with the mouth and the words, and sometimes I'm on point. Probably shouldn't have said that. That's why I'm going to edit this video. All right, so we know that G is definitely here. This is the note G on the second line. How do we know? It's been given to us information that is just definitive. The end. Why is it? It just is. This is the note G. Now, there are tricks to remember the lined letters and letters in the space, but I've just touched on that point. So, the note can only be in two places on the staff. It can be on the line, with the line running right through the middle of it like we see with G, or the note can be in a space where it should pretty much be touching the lines that make the space around it. And as we go up, we go forward in the alphabet. So that note there is A. And as we keep going up, here's B. So these are the only three notes we need to see the pattern beginning. If G is on the line, the next note above it, we're back to the beginning of the alphabet. A appears in the space. The next note above A, as we're going one letter at a time through the alphabet forward, will be B, and B appears on the line. And this is the pattern of music on the staff. It alternates, which means to switch between. I'm alternating hitting the chalkboard with the chalk and my left pointer finger. Switching between, alternating. So, the letter names switch between a location on the line and in the space. As we keep going forward, we will get C in the space. And I'm going to take a step back here because I ran out of room, but we're still going up. Up one from C to the line is D. As we keep going up, one above D, you know what comes after D in the alphabet. If you're not sure, count on your fingers. A, B, C, D, E. You couldn't see my fourth finger. A, B, C, D, E. There it is. So, E will be in the space above D. Then F will be on the line above E. And then G will be on the space above F. And then it'll keep going. We'll get A if we keep going up there. So the pattern works in exactly the opposite way too. If we started on G in the space, coming backward, we would go 1 down to F is right before G, and that's on the line. 1 right before F is E, and that's in the space. 1 right before E is D, and that's on the line. And we just continue back down the pattern here. Ooh, that was a terrible note. All the way down to D there in the space below. So that's the big idea, that music alternates when you're going forward in the alphabet between the lines and the spaces. And this is for any instrument at all. You can play the guitar, the piano, the clarinet, the violin. If you understand music theory, and I highly recommend this book, Practical Theory by Sandy Feldstein. Just a very good book, will break you through the beginning and onto the more complex stuff. You can see here, we went over, I'm getting this camera angle wrong, the staff. And it's a very basic introduction, very line by line, and then we get the clefs. Let's go to this one. Treble, clef, and staff. I'll go over the other clefs in another video. I just wanted to do that basic. Oh, and this is already getting to be 10 minutes. Well, I'm going to chop a lot of this out. I'm working my editing chops. Okay. That's the pattern. Line, space, back and forth. It doesn't matter which one you start on. It's the one that isn't there. There's only 2. Alright, see you next time. Thanks for watching.